Hello friends, welcome to Sindhu Shares. I'm your Sindhu. The mental model that we're going to be discussing today is an interesting one. It's one of the favorite for Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and it's inversion, inverse thinking. So what does it say? It basically says that if you're approaching a problem, instead of approaching it directly, approach it in a reverse manner. Like try to seek exactly the opposite of what you want. So say for example, you want to drop your weight, like shed your fat. Instead of looking for ways to reduce those fat, look for ways to increase those fat and avoid those things. That is, instead of looking for ways to win, look for ways to lose and tabulate those ways and just don't do those things. Simply that's what inverse thinking means. And let me explain it using an example. Say you want to remain productive and active and focused throughout the day. What you can do, a simple technique is to have more caffeine. Take more caffeine, you'll remain more active and focused. Nowadays you might have seen some focus musics coming up wherein you can listen to a music in the background that makes you stay focused. There are multiple other techniques as well to remain focused. But by using the principle of inverse thinking, how can you stay unfocused and unorganized and always remain distracted? Keep your notifications on. Install all the apps like Instagram, Facebook in your mobile, and whenever they ring, look at them. Start your day by watching the YouTube trending videos or Twitter. These are the ways to remain distracted. So what it says is, even though you are following the direct approach of drinking coffee and all those things, if you fall trapped to these distraction techniques, you will eventually remain distracted. But whereas if you're following directly an approach to remain undistracted, you will stay focused. That's in essence what inverse thinking is all about. To give you another example, you might have seen people going for a walk in the morning to drop their weight, to stay healthy and fit. But I can see every day that after the end of their walk, they should go and have like a cup of coffee or tea, followed by a biscuit or some deep fried vada or so on. So basically, they're doing what needs to be done, that is go for walking, but they're also doing what should not be done. And that's where it becomes the problem. So that is Tamil classic literature called Tirukkural, in which Valluvar says in one of the Kural, it is ruinous to do what should not be done, and it is ruinous to leave undone what should be done. If you look at the first line, it is ruinous to do what should not be done, and that's what inverse thinking is all about. Determine what should not be done and just don't do it. So after hearing this, you might have think about two things. One, Sendhil, isn't it very intuitive to think what should not be done? It's not intuitive, it's actually counterintuitive. Our mind is always behind a survival mindset. It always looks for ways to survive, to live. It doesn't look for ways to die. For example, if you're joining in a company, you always look for ways to do the work well and get promoted. At no point you would look for ways to get dismissed with a bad name. Our mind won't think in that way. So it has to be a conscious effort to think in reverse, to think inversion. And the second point you would ponder upon is, why should I think negative? Shouldn't you always stay positive? Even there, Thiruvalluvar has an explanation there. He says, to the wise with foresight, there are no shocks. So how can you have no shocks? Only when you are predicted or when you have thought about what are the problems that might appear in the future, it won't look like a shock to you. Say for example, you run a company and you want to promote 5 of the people, like you're deciding whom to promote. Instead of asking your colleagues, what are the reasons why I should promote him or her? Tell them the reasons why we shouldn't promote him or her. Or even if you promote them, what are the problems that we might face in the future? That's inverse thinking for you. And by the way, what happens? Either you don't promote someone who doesn't fit in, or even if you promote, you know what are the problems that he or she might face in the future. So either you can train them or you will be prepared to face those problems. So that's it, guys. That is very simple. By blindly chasing the success, we do not know what the threats are going to be. There might be multiple risks and threats associated. But if you look at the failure and try to navigate and try to avoid the threats, the new threats are very minimal and you will have very risk to win. And that's the benefit of thinking in reverse, thinking inverse. So instead of looking for ways to become rich, look for ways to become poor and just avoid those things. Instead of looking to be smart, look for ways to be stupid and just avoid being stupid, and you will be on the path to become a smart person. So you can apply this technique everywhere, anywhere in domain. Be you are a movie director, look for ways to make the movie a flop instead of a hit. Just avoid making the movie into a flop and you'll make it a good movie. Similarly, any of your problems, just use the technique of inverse thinking and it will help you drastically in solving those problems. So I hope this video is much useful for everyone. So please do share it with your friends and colleagues and family members. I will see you soon in the next video. Until then, take care, stay safe. Let's learn and grow together. Bye-bye.